All right, good morning guys. So here's the video that we've been waiting for. I'm gonna go through the snatch, try to make it a little bit clearer for you, maybe give you some extra things you haven't heard that might help you. I'm not always available to help everyone with their technique, so hopefully by doing something like this, maybe you'll learn a little bit of something different that might help, because we can all improve on everything. So the snatch is a really complex movement. We don't always start out teaching everyone the snatch because it's based around that hinge movement, right? Where we fold forward at the hips. So butt back, chest down, that hinge movement. We want to get that strong and powerful with the swing before we throw it into the overhead snatch. So hopefully you're all progressing and getting really good at that hinge movement. I just want to talk about that hinge a little bit more before we throw in the snatch. So 3 basic movements, I would say: the swing, the clean, and the snatch. They all use that same engine. So the engine is the hips and your upper legs, lower back. So hinge right here, same engine no matter what the movement is. The arms are your steering wheels, right? Gonna take you to a different destination. When it's the swing, same engine, power through the hips. Destination is just chest level swing. So arm is taking you here. Same movement. Going to the clean, engine is the same, destination, nice and close, bell comes up, right? Movement, steering wheel's taking you right here. Same engine. Same thing goes for the snatch. Engine is the same, powerful force here. It's taking it overhead, right? One smooth motion overhead. So we want that hinge movement to be super powerful. Things to think about for that: push the floor away, right? The more we can push that floor, the stronger we get through our legs. You want to see glute contraction through that. Push strong. We can go through a swing and be really lazy, right? Not activate anything. This isn't going to get you anywhere. You're not creating any force or tension. So the more force we can create in our muscles, the more tension we create, the more powerful our movement is, right? So think, push through the floor, lock that out, strong, tighten. Push with each movement, right? That's going to give you the force that your steering wheel needs to bring the bell wherever it needs to go, right? Any destination. So it all starts with this. Once we have a strong hip hinge, we can start talking about how to get the bell all the way overhead. So this is where it gets complicated. A lot of times people want to swing the bell out really far away from them, right? Create this big arc. They think it's just a swing that goes overhead. Totally not a swing that goes overhead. Don't do that. If I was going to take the bell and swing it out, I create this huge arc. Bell comes up, smacks on the top, right? You want to take it much closer to the body. Think that there's a wall in front of you. You're going to come up and punch through. So almost think of painting a wall, right? With your hand. Hand comes up, through, and back down through the hinge. Up, down. The wall that you're painting is really close to you, right? Not way over here. Paint it here, up, down. Let's talk about the top of the movement. Top of the movement, bicep should be back behind your ear, right? We don't get there though by doing this, right? We're not coming up, sticking this forward. So one way to help that is to take your eye gaze and move it straight across the room. So you want to actually look up at the top of the snatch. So down here, coming up, gaze is completely forward, arm is back here. It's also not out here, right? Nice straight line. Down, bring it up here. Not out here, not twisted. There's no twisting. Sometimes people think to get the bell up that they need to throw this weird twist in there. Straight up, punch through. So there's a couple drills that we're going to go through. The sun is coming bright in right now. A couple drills we're going to go through to try to help with this. So one of my favorite ways to teach the snatch is to teach it from the top down, right? Once you're at the top of the snatch, it's very important that you're not just throwing the bell out, right? This movement is going to twist and pull on your back. You want to drop the bell. So I'm going to show you what that looks like with the kettlebell. Up at the top, you're doing a little bit of casting. Don't cast it out, but you're kind of just letting it drop and come down. When the bell gets to about belly button height, you're going to kick your hips back. Then I want you just to clean it, press it back up, Do that drop, drop, drop. Drop it really close to your body. Nothing's gonna happen. If you don't catch it, you're just gonna drop it to the floor, right? So you're just gonna drop the bell, super loose in your hands too. So think about when you're snatching, your grip is not deathly on the bell handle. It's super loose in there. That bell can kind of rotate around through here. So always loose on that grip with the snatch. If you hold it really tight, it's gonna do that tight, 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 bangy, bangy. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna clean the bell up. We're gonna get it overhead. We're gonna practice that drop down. So this is what that looks like. From the top, I'm just bringing my arm down and letting it drop. Bring it down, let it drop. As soon as it hits my belly button, I'm gonna hinge back. So I'm not pulling the bell down. The bell is dropping, I'm just guiding it and sending it back. So there's a good thing to practice is just that drop down. I'm gonna see and try to get that in slow motion so you can see what that drop looks like. So practice that dropping it, keeping it super close. So then from after that, I'm gonna grab a quick drink. Talking and working out is really hard to do. All right, so once we've got the top down snatch, we're gonna practice keeping it close with like a high pull progression. So high pull, we wanna keep the bell nice and close. We slowly wanna take it a little higher until we find that point where we punch through. So basically on your snatch, elbow is coming up close to your body, and there becomes a point where it becomes weightless, where your bell is almost just floating. You've used so much force to get it up that now it just is floating and weightless. When it hits that point, which might be a little different for everyone, it's gonna be right around chest, head, eye level. When it becomes weightless, that's when you want to punch through. A lot of issues I see is where people don't get that timing right for the punch, or they're too nervous about it and they're just not doing it strong. You need to have confidence, punch through. It's not forceful, but it's quick. It's a real quick punch through. So at the top of your snatch, you actually can like open your hand because all you're doing is punching it, spearing through the ceiling, if that makes sense. You're not trying to like rotate the bell at all. The bell will rotate on its own. You're using a force from here that the bell would just keep rotating and fall behind you if you didn't punch through. So you don't need to make the bell flip. Same thing when we do the clean. You don't need to flip the bell around. It's gonna do that. That's its movement pattern because of the way that it's designed. So I'm gonna show you the high pull progression. Slowly, I'm just gonna take it a little higher, a little higher, a little higher, until I feel ready to just go for it and punch through. This is the part that takes a lot of practice. So here's what it looks like. We're gonna start with a swing. So swing is farther away from the body, correct? Using that leg power. I'm gonna start bringing it closer. So elbow bend, lots of elbow bend. Bell is really close to my body, getting higher. Punch through. Try it again. Bring it up, a little higher. Big elbow bend here, higher, higher. Punch through. Top of the bell, drop it down. So now I'll do a couple snatches. Using that power in my hips. The arm is just the steering wheel. Let me know if you guys have any questions, any other suggestions you can add. Things you've tried that have worked well for you, pieces of it that you struggle with, I'm happy to help. There's other drills that I can give you to correct things. So lots and lots and lots and lots of practice. Good luck.